400, 424. 424.
If you believe in the fire that's in your soul, come on and stand up. You gotta believe in the fire that's in your soul, so come on and stand up.
We've got 19 in the room already, Shawnee.
Stand up. I'm a believer. I believe that I can. Stand up. That I can live freely.
Hello, everybody.
Stand up. If you're a believer and believe.
Tell us when you're in the room by commenting on where you are in the chat.
Everybody, let's stand. Stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Got 100 in the room so far, Shawnee, already. Hey everyone, tell us where you're from. Use the chat. We'll be starting shortly.
I'm a believer. I believe that I can live freely. So I gotta take a stand. If
We've got Collingwood, Melbourne. Hey Kate, good to see you, Kate Nippert.
live freely.
Sydney, Melbourne. Welcome, Michael. Welcome, Arabella.
Come on and stand up.
Emma, great to see you.
Stand up.
Emily tuning in from her parents' house.
Stand up.
168 in the room, Shawnee, so far 175. Hey, everybody. Welcome, Mark Echo. Good to see you, big guy.
If you believe in the fire that's in your soul, come on and stand up.
Allison's in self-isolation.
You gotta believe in the fire that's in your soul, so come on and stand up. If you believe in the fire,
We'll be seeing you guys very shortly.
stand up.
We've got 189 people now.
Believe in the fire. Come on and stand up.
Shall I do some juggling? Make sure you use this chat, guys, to tell us how you feel. Tell us what you're thinking. Sean does his little shimmy.
Everybody, let's dance.
We've got over 200 people now, Sean. We'll start in a second, mate. Welcome, everyone.
Stand up.
Get the grooves going on. All right, we're going to start in a second. Woo! We really want you guys to interact, so make sure you use the chat, make comments, add feedback along the way, and ask questions, because at the end we'll be asking questions for Sean to help you guys get through this. Thank you, Brooke. Brooke's just gone, this is the most energy she's seen in days.
Wait till we get it started, bro.
Maybe we should launch a nightclub. Sean, what do you reckon?
Virtual nightclub. Okay, that could work, maybe.
Hey, Robbie. Good to see you. All right, we've got 240 people joining us, John, so we're ready to go, I reckon.
Amazing. Let's get it started.
Let's get it started.
All right, team. We got one message for you today, and that is you've got this. Right? We are going to help you with the skills that we know are going to make the biggest difference right now, today, that you can implement straight away to help you feel less stressed, to help you feel more well, to give you more energy, to feel more connected. I want to say hello, and my name is Sean Hall. I'm the founder and CEO of Energx. Energx is a human performance company, and we specialize in two things. The first is helping people prevent and overcome burnout. And the second is helping high-performing teams actually sustain their competitive advantage. So excited to be here with you today. I've got my mate Cookie, Luke Cook from Funlocka. Luke, do you want to say something?
Yeah, so guys, we help businesses build happy communities by focusing on employee engagement and experience. Obviously, we do a lot in the live experience space, and our business has totally had to shift, like many of us right now. And we're doing a lot of live webinars, so we'll talk more about that later on.
Absolutely. And I guess one of the things why Luke and I are working together is that we've actually been working from home, running and successfully running our businesses from home for a number of years now. So we've got both that experience of actually being in this context for a while, I guess, and we want to share a lot of that with you today as well. Now, the first thing I just want to say is that this is a webinar, so it's one to many, right? So we aren't able to provide one-on-one support through this experience, but what we do want to say is there's amazing organizations out there that have professional support. So if you feel like you need a little bit extra, there's no shame, especially at times like this, in asking for help. Your business also might have an employee assistance program or EAP, so make sure you're aware of what they offer during these times as well. Now, this really sums up what this whole scenario has been like for the last week, right? These grandmas, I'm just like channeling all the feels for me right now.
Well, the grandmas definitely don't want you to come near them because they're, a bit scary out there, bro.
Yeah, and this is, I'm sure you're feeling this as well. And it's probably feeling a bit like this, where we're running up this set of stairs, but we've got no idea where those stairs are going to end, right? And what we feel is really being asked of us right now is we're all being asked to level up, right? We're all being asked to learn new skills, right? To cope in new ways and ultimately to become a different version of ourselves, right? And that can be uncomfortable, right? We're expected to grow right now. But just know that we are here to support you to get to that next level. Now, we're going to start with a poll. We need you to get really involved today, right? This experience is not going to work if you are passive and just sort of sit back and have other screens and that sort of things going on. So you'll see that there's a little icon with a red dot to it, a poll icon with a red dot next to it, and we want you to answer this question for us. How confident are you that you've got the skills, right? The skills to say, I've got this right now.
Shorty, it's actually interesting. The live poll showing that about sort of 45% of people have chosen number 3.
Yep.
They could do with some extra help, which is obviously why we're here. So, you know what? It's probably our highest stat so far. About 20% of people say I'm worried and distracted most of the time at the moment. So there is obviously a fair bit of concern from everyone out there on how do you actually get through this time and what can you do to make it better. So, yeah, mate, it's number 3 is definitely the flowing pillar, but it's quite full on down below as well.
Right. Thanks so much for sharing that, everyone. So what I want to say is this is why we're here. We're here for you today. What our goal is we'd love for you to get involved, take the skills on board that we're teaching you today. There will be some homework, right? But we are aiming, right, our job here is to help you at least shift up one number today, right? By giving you very, very practical steps around where to start, areas that we know will help, right? So that you can start to move towards this, I've got this. And if you're already at this, I've got this, everything that we've got here should help you also give language, right? And tools that you can give to others as well. Now, it's very, very important right now because every one of us is hyper distracted, right? There's so much going on. We already were dealing with a whole bunch of changes and then suddenly it's just gone to a whole new level. So I want to give you a little tip because right now it's so, so important that for the next 55 minutes you are present. So I'm going to give you a very, very simple trick to doing that. Right now, what I want you to do is simply notice something new. It could be something new on the screen. Like I want you to zero in on a detail. Could be something on the screen, could be my t-shirt, could be something in the room where you're at right now, but notice something new. As soon as you zero in on that thing, you are present, right? If you find yourself wandering or distracted at any point in the next 55 minutes, do that again. Just notice something new. It's an awesome trick. We're going to be spending much more time online, spending in group virtual sessions, and this is a great trick to bring you back into the room as well. Now, what I want you to do is now take that feeling of presence, right, and I want you to focus on something specifically. I want you to focus on what you are grateful for right now. It could be a person who always has a smile for you, who's been checking in on you, who's been giving you the best virtual hugs you've ever had in your whole life, right? Or always has a smile or a joke for you. Now, what I want you to do is go to the chat part of the screen, and I want you to write the thing that you're grateful for right now. I want to see a wave right now of gratitude coming up on the screen. Go for it.
I expect to see my name up here a couple of times, Shawnee, especially Mark Echo. Come on, mate. Give it.
Definitely, Mark. Great to see you, buddy.
We should start seeing the comments coming through very shortly, man. So,
all right. I want to see every single one of us right now being present, thinking about the stuff that we're grateful for, right? This is so important because what we know is gratitude has a massive impact. It's the most strongly correlated practice to our well-being and our mental health, right? So take it, just go with what's in your gut and write that thing that you're most grateful for right now.
Mate, this is flowing like nothing else. It's hard to even keep up in telling me the truth. Having a job, my family's health, my dogs, Uber Eats. Well done, Craig, on that one. That's an awesome one. Philippa Moig said alcohol. We'll come up to you soon, Philippa, so watch that. Having a roof over my head, yes.
Wonderful.
No commute. That's a positive of working from home.
There are good
friends, plenty more. Food in the fridge from Janice.
Thank you so much for sharing that, right? This is why we're here, right? We want to remember to keep hold of the things that we're really grateful for. Now, I'm inspired this week by this quote from the Prime Minister of Ireland, right? He said in a speech earlier this week, "In years to come, let them say of us, when things were at their worst, we were at our best," right? And that's what I really want to emphasize today. This is about we. How do we support each other? How do we take what we learn in the next 55 minutes and share that to as many people as possible to help them also be at their best, right? Really hold on to that. This is about we, not I. Now, there's some rules to today's session, and the rules are designed so that you get the most out of it. The first is get involved, right? We'll be asking lots of questions. We'll be doing polls. Where should they be going on to on their screen there, Lukey?
Yeah, they should. You'll be seeing it on the left-hand side. I think most people have got the grasp, but the little red dots will come up around polls, chats, and we've also got a couple of offers there as well. Just make sure you keep on writing the comments. And if you've got any questions, start filtering them through, and we'll ask Sean at the end when all this session is finished.
Perfect. Right, so get involved, right? Don't be passive. Don't just be a viewer, right? An observer in this. Get involved, right? Close all your other screens right now. This is you time, right? Right now, you need to focus on you. That's what this is about. So close everything up. Get rid of every distraction that you've got. Respect and be kind to each other. I mean, this goes without saying. But what I know is I'm going to play the good cop and Cookie's going to play the bad cop. All right, so we're going to kick out any energy vampires, right? No haters allowed. Do the work and the homework, right? I'm your coach here today. If you had a coach in a sports team and that coach told you that how you could get your personal best time or improve your technique, you'd do it. That's what I'm here to do for you today. We can't do that for you. We're going to get you to do work today, and we're going to give you homework, and we expect it to be done. The next is to stand up and write notes so that you can pay forward, and the science shows that you'll remember more if you do that. What we promise to you, right, our promise to you today is no fluff. Today is about the how, right, really practical steps that you can start immediately. Everything that we're doing today is backed up by research. We don't have time to go into that, but you can email me if you want more info on anything. And that this is the start, right? We are in for the long haul, right? We're going to tell you often, we're overwhelmed with all the things that we should do or could do to look after ourselves. Right now, we're taking all the experience that we've had from our two businesses and from me personally working with over 5,000 people in the last couple of years to know where to start, right? Don't worry about other stuff. We're going to tell you where to start today. Okay, so we're here to learn specifically how to reduce overwhelm and increase your energy. how to create productivity rituals that light up your brain, how to work from home and stay creative. And I'm going to give you the first place to start for all of those things, right? If you don't start in these places, anything else is pretty much useless, right? So I'm going to focus on the one thing for each. And then we're going to have a Q&A at the end, but feel free to share your questions right throughout. Now, in uncertain times, I want to say be kind to yourself, right? It's normal to feel anxious right now. I got to share with you, I'm actually a little bit anxious at the moment, and I'm anxious because I got an email from Australia Post, and I'm thinking, what are the odds? It's probably my buzz is going to go off while I'm doing this webinar, right? So I'm a little bit anxious, but I'm going to tell you what I'm doing to deal with that, right, in a second. But the really important thing about this is that we need to support each other. We're all going through this together. This is something that we've got to share and help each other to overcome. Now, right now, you can control 3 things, right? Anxiety is often driven by uncertainty. So what we need to do is to wind that back and focus on what we can control, what is certain. And what is certain is there are 3 things that you can control right now. And that is taking responsibility for your energy, right? The things that energize you whilst you remove the things that deplete you. This is super important. The second thing you can control is taking responsibility for your impact on other people. How do you turn up? As Luke and I said before, we don't want to be energy vampires, right? We don't want to be energy vampires to people. Take responsibility for your energy impact on others. And third is taking responsibility for how good you are at what you do, right? So let me give you an example in terms of my anxiety that I'm managing right now, right? So to take responsibility for my energy, knowing that I might have Australia Post turn up in the middle of this, right? I'm actually sharing that with you, right? Because I want you to know I can only take responsibility for that if I share it with you. I can only take responsibility for my energy impact on you if I say to you, guess what? If that buzzer goes off, you're going to hear it as well. And I'm going to have to quickly let the postman in. And taking responsibility for how good I am at what I do, right? So by sharing it with you, I think you can see that I'm demonstrating exactly what the situation is that we're all dealing with, right? How likely is it that you're going to be in a meeting online and your postman might show up as well, or postwoman, right, might show up as well, right? So taking responsibility for what I can control. I can't control when it's going to turn up, but I can control those other 3 things. So don't waste your energy on anything else, right? If you look at a situation or thoughts that you're having and it doesn't fit into one of those 3 things, don't give it any energy, right? Don't waste your energy on anything else. First bit of homework. Take a screen grab right now or take a picture with your phone, right? What we want you to do, and this is also in the office section, isn't it, Cookie?
Yeah, I just put it on the office section so people can do it later on. It'll open up in a new tab, so you just keep it on the side. So when you finish this session, you can do it live.
Fantastic, right? So don't do this now. As I said, it says right there, it's homework, right? But this free assessment at xiq.systems will help identify what's energizing you, what's not, and help you set new energy goals, right? With that knowledge, you'll then be taken to a whole bunch of additional content, additional free content to help you propose any gaps that you identify. All right, let's go to another poll, Cookie. Right.
Yep.
What single activity has all of these energy boosting benefits, right? You're going to write your answer in the chat box. What single activity increases your immunity, reduces your stress, increases your productivity and focus, increases your creativity, is anti-aging, helps with weight loss, reduces your risk of cancer, increases your fertility, if you're thinking about that right now, and reduces your likelihood of errors, right? What single activity has all of these benefits? Write your answer in the chat box now.
Gardening, exercise, going for a walk, cardio, exercise, cold showers, meditation, yoga, sleep, meditation, exercise, socializing and laughing, stretching, yoga, exercise, sleep.
Wow, I'm loving all of that because all of those activities you're describing are exactly what we need to be doing to increase our energy right now. But there's one which is the starting point, and that is sleep, right? Every single cell in your body responds positively to the benefits of sleep and inversely reacts really negatively to sleep deprivation, right? So we'll send you'll have more information in the free content around sleep and the benefits. But I want to focus on our next piece of homework for you. right? So again, take a screenshot of this, right, or a picture on your phone. This assessment is going to help you identify your chronotype, right? Your chronotype is a scientific definition for whether you're a morning or a night person or something in the middle, right? This is your unique physiological makeup, okay? Unique physiological makeup. So your chronotype is the basis for your well-being and your energy overall, yeah? So we're going to expect you to do that for your homework tonight. Now, the reason for that is if you want to sleep better tonight, right, here's what you need to do. The first is understand your chronotype and the best time for you to go to bed. The sleep science tells us that regularity, going to bed at the same time every night, is the number one thing that's going to help you improve your sleep quality and help you wake up feeling refreshed. The number two thing is the temperature of your bedroom, right? So we need it to be cool, to cool your body temperature down, your core body temperature down, to help you go to sleep and stay asleep. The next thing is have some fun, right? Give your bedroom a bit of a makeover. Believe it or not, right now I'm in my bedroom. I've had to give it a makeover, but a slightly different one, right? Which is to turn it into a studio.
Sean, I love the clouds, mate, but I'm telling you, you're missing the floating seagull in the background. We need the floating seagull for the next session, please.
You can imagine, like, this room was set up for me to have a great night's sleep, right? I'm in the clouds. I'm literally sleeping on a cloud, right? Now, I want you to think about this one thing for me. Now, obviously, it doesn't apply to me right now, but I will change my bedroom back after these webinars, is that your bedroom is for two things, right? Just think on that for a second. I can only help you with one of those.
Mate, a lot of them have already commented in the last bit around that other one that you're talking about. Okay. So we've got some of the right minds in this situation to actually think about what that other option is. So yeah. Excellent,
right? I guess I just want to be cheeky to say that you don't always, for that second thing, have to have someone with you, right? So... Okay, so your bedroom should, right? So this is the thing I want you to think about. Nothing should be in your bedroom that does not contribute to the quantity, quality, and frequency of those two things. Yeah. So think about get Marie Kondo on your bedroom and really minimalize what's in there. Next thing, get your phone out of the bedroom, right? I'm telling you, this is going to make such a big difference. Plug it in somewhere outside, right? Get it out of your bedroom. Go onto Amazon and buy yourself an alarm clock, right, if you need to. Next thing is no screens for an hour before bed, right? So my chronotype has me going to sleep about 11:30. So from 10:30 to 11:30, I have no screens, right? And in that, I've designed for myself a little sleep spa routine, right? So this is where you can get creative. The things that relax you, right? It could be, right, dimming down the lights and creating a bit of ambiance. It could be some light fiction reading. It could be having a connected conversation, right? It could be doing a little yoga, right, or meditation. It could be putting some essential oils in a diffuser or having a warm bath. You decide, right? The things that relax you so that when you walk into your bedroom, it's lights out, right, literally. And then the final thing is you need to aim for at least 8 hours, right, which is the World Health Organization recommendation. So do those things. Take a screenshot of this right now, right? These are the things that you need to do. And if you do this tonight, I promise you, if you do this tonight and do this for the next 5 nights, if you are not sleeping better, please email me. All right, let's move on. I want to make a quick call here just about alcohol and sleep, right? So we need to be aware that what alcohol does, right, is it actually disrupts the deep REM part of your sleep. Now, why that is important is for 2 reasons. The first is that if you think about your brain like a factory, right? If a factory is working through the day, it's going to create waste. In the deeper part of our sleep, the restorative part of our sleep, that waste has been cleared out of our brains. You get me? Right? So we want to have clear, if you're feeling foggy, this is what's going on, right? The second reason why this is important, the deep REM sleep is also where we embed new memories. Right? So if you are sleep deprived, it's like your brain's waterlogged. You can't connect new memories, right? And it's also, if you're a creative person, where you're connecting the dots on things and retaining learning, right? So that's all I want to say about that is be aware. Okay, so key takeout to reduce overwhelm and increase your energy. First, understand what's energizing you and what's not. That's the homework, and then start with sleep. Okay, next poll. How prepared do you feel to work from home full time, right? Not just 1 or 2 days a week, but full time. Please share with us your answers now. They're on the spectrum.
So this one's in the polls section, guys. So you'll see the little red dot there. Just make sure you answer in the polls. Shawnee, there about 50, 65, 70% of people saying I can do it, but I don't love it. 20 odd percent are saying I'm not sure how I feel about it. About 10% of people saying it's their worst nightmare. So that's roughly what we're getting across all those polls, mate.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, right? And thank you again for sharing that, right? So we want to help you, again, with some skills specifically around working from home. Why? Because working from home is a skill, right? Don't judge yourself for feeling the way that you are right now. Like any skill, it's hard at first. When I first transitioned to working from home full-time and running my business, I actually saw all these different behaviors turn up that I'd never seen before. I was like hyper distracted. I wasn't productive. You know, I'd just be getting up. I'd be starting doing something and wouldn't remember what I was about to do in the first place. And I was so worried about it. I actually went and saw a psychologist to get tested for OCD, right? Because I just felt I was doing the same things over and again, and none of them were actually contributing to being productive. I spent $600 doing that, right? So I had to learn. I didn't have OCD through the test, right? But what I realized is I had to learn new skills to help me regulate these behaviors and actually be more productive. And I know, Cookie, you said that you had a similar experience, right?
Yeah, like some of you guys know that I started Funlocka probably about 3 years ago, went from a corporate job to starting something myself. And I really struggled in that first session, Bill, more because I didn't have my community around me, you know. I had a great team around me, etc. It's been a very lonely journey. And, you know, one of the things that I say is that I have about 50 meetings a day in my head. And 3 times I sack myself every single day because I don't, you know, it's hard to comprehend how you work in this environment until and it's okay, you know, that's the whole thing about today. It's okay to be that anxious about stuff around.
And so we're going to give you, I really want to make a call out today to the introverts, right? Because the introverts are going to be the ones that are more comfortable working in the scenario, most likely. What I want you to do, if you're an introvert, please reach out to an extrovert. Right, because they will be struggling a lot in this situation because you don't have the social cues and the spontaneity that comes and fuels you from an energy perspective as an extrovert. Right, so if you're an introvert, reach out to an extrovert and share with them some of the ways that you manage yourself. Now, because what we want to avoid is that sometimes working from home can go wrong.
Years or whatever. I think it really depends on just like the ethical standards of the profession. And in reality, I've heard that social work kind of has very high standards and like good standards in terms of things, and that oftentimes people don't, like people of other professions don't have. Hold on. What happened?
I saw nothing.
Oh my God.
Okay, so the listener for us, right?
Mate, that is a new video that we didn't have yesterday. That is a classic. You just made me cack myself. That is awesome.
Little rule there. Do not take your laptop to the toilet. All right. So how do we work from home well? Right. So first thing I want to tell you is rhythms create momentum, right? We have been disrupted big time right now and we're out of rhythm, and that feels awful, feels odd, right? When you think about it, as humans, we're designed to be in rhythm. If you joined me a bit early, you would have seen a little bit of my rhythm going on, right? And hopefully you were joining me as well with that. Now, think about that from a rhythm perspective. Our heartbeat, our breath, right? We're designed to be in rhythm. That's the foundation, right, for us. So we need to find ways to create rhythms in our day that provide the momentum for us to be productive. I want to focus right now on your morning rhythm, right? Starting the day in a way that sets you up for success. Now, as I said, I'm your coach. So I'm not giving you stuff to say, maybe do this, maybe do that. I'm giving you this to say, do this, right? So the first thing is I want you to start your day device free, which should be easier now that your phone is out of your bedroom, right? The first 15 minutes away from a screen to focus on self-care, to focus on being proactive, right? If you go into a device, you are instantly reactive. Being reactive is prime pathway to anxiety, right? Being reactive all the time because you aren't able to deal with that. You cannot control what's going to turn up on that screen. First 15 minutes device free. In that 15 minutes, get up and make your bed straight away. Already you've achieved something. And guess what? The science also says that you're more likely to sleep well if you make your bed in the morning. Go figure. The next is to hydrate. Do this with me right now. Grab your water bottle. All right, let's have a big swig. Okay, water is energy. Your body is 70% water. Your brain is up to 85% water. That means just a small amount of dehydration is going to impact how you think and feel. Get some vitamin D, right? Most Australians are vitamin D deficient. So this means getting some early morning sun out on your balcony, or if you're going outside with physical distancing, right? Do that straight away. So get up, make your bed, take some water, get outside, get some sun, yeah? The next is be brave, be very brave. When you jump in that shower, start with maybe 30 seconds of a cold shower just to boost your immunity and invigorate you. There's no way you can't be awake with a little bit of a cold shower. Then once you're out, write down 3 things that you're grateful for. We've already captured a whole wave of those, right? 3 things that you're grateful for. And as you do this, get more and more focused on little details. Then get dressed like you're going to work, right? Super important, right? Get dressed like you're going to work. Or if you want to be a bit extra when you turn up for your group Zoom call, like you're going on a date, right? See how people react. Then move in some way. I can't emphasize how much movement is so important to our mental well-being. Get your theme song on, right? What we'll do is we'll share with you a link around our theme songs, right? And move to that. Choose some lyrics that just inspire you and get you moving, bump you up, right? And get moving. Then plan your day using the energy diary tool, which we're about to take you through, and also to do a creative strengths exercise, which we're also about to take you through. All right, screenshot this right now. Right, if as many people as possible are doing this, we are going to have a big change going on. All righty, let's keep moving. Oh, actually, no, we're going to take a little break right now. So 5-minute break. Okay, so you got some options in what you can do for this break. All right, it's important for us to take breaks as well to give our brains a bit of a rest. All right, so I've got some options for you. You can go and fill up your water bottle, which is what I'm going to do in a second. Right, you might put on a song and give yourself a bit of a pump up. You might take a little toilet stop, up to you. Or if you want a bit of a laugh, I think you might enjoy this little video of goats and sheep.
Do you want to come home with me?
Komt u maar.
Hey everyone, if you're there, I just launched a poll, so check it out and please comment while Sean's not in the room.
Aw, such a cute sheep. You okay? Okay, the door.
Das geht's ja nicht.
Back, Shawnee.
Did I hear that you just did a poll right then?
Maybe, mate. Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. No, about 27% say that you're freaking weird for adding this to the workshop, but majority of people said they're funny and loud, so it's okay.
I'm just like, did anyone know just how many different dialects of goat there are?
Right. Oh, good point. Talk about inclusion. Anyway, over.
All right, so everyone, so you're back now. Let's get back into the room. Right, so I want you to do this simple exercise with us. Right, so often we're feeling overwhelmed and we need really practical strategies to actually deal with that feeling in the moment, right? And so this is why I want you to do this exercise all together right now. We're going to calm our parasympathetic nervous system. Breathe in, fill up your lungs for 4, hold for 4, slowly breathe out for 4. And hold. Breathe in. Breathe out. And in. And out. Let's do that one more time. We fill up those lungs. Instantly you'll feel the difference. We only did 5 circles. That was less than a minute, right? So anytime you're feeling overwhelmed, try not to just don't sit in that feeling, right? Focus on what you can do. One of my favorite learnings from all this work is that when the noise in your head, right, is really loud, and the best ways to get out of your head is to get into your body. That's why yoga is so awesome at this as well. And so hopefully you're feeling a little bit more zen. Now, one of the most amazing conversations I've ever had, life-changing conversations I've ever had, was with a friend-tour. Right? So he plays both of those roles to me. This amazing man called Kamal Salma. Right? Kamal used to be a monk, and then he went on to be a venture capitalist and a McKinsey consultant, as monks do, right? And these days, though, he's the chairman of the Are You OK Day think tank and the CEO of a company called Resilient. And he's such an amazing man. And when I was burnt out and at quite a low point, he was the first person that said to me, Sean, have you thought about managing your energy and not your time? And that idea just really exploded in my head, right? Because I can ask you after literally any experience that you have, right? Any experience that you can have, I can say to you, did that experience energize you or deplete you? And you'll just know, right? You'll intuitively just know, you'll feel it, right? And what we do here at Energx, we help you turn that feeling, that intuition into intelligence, right? With that intelligence, you can make better decisions. Now, what I want to share with you next is a tool to make decisions based on your feeling of being energized or depleted, right? And this tool, I want to say to you, like any tool, sometimes it can feel a bit clunky the first time you use it because it's a new skill, right? However, if you use it more often, you're going to get better at it, and it literally will help you change the way that you see anything. I designed this tool after talking to a whole bunch of C-suite executives, CEOs and CMOs in particular, to ask them how they made decisions, how they managed their energy, and how they turned up to their people. This is a tool right here. So take a screenshot of this in a second. Now, as you can see, there's 2 simple axes. unimportant to important. And this is to you, right? Not to anyone else, unimportant to you or important to you. And then energizing or depleting. It can't be in the middle for here. It's either going to be a little bit or a lot, right? Depending on the type of experience. What you do is you go back and you look at your diary over the last couple of weeks, right? Create some space to yourself to do this, and then literally plot everything that you did from when you woke up to when you went to bed on this matrix, right? Once you plot something on that matrix, then these are the decisions that you make, right? Very, very simple. Plot things and then make decisions, okay? First things, we're going to start in that bottom left-hand corner. So if something is unimportant but depleting, you want to lose it. The way that you lose things from your diary is you say no to things, right? Remember, they're unimportant, right? So why say yes, right? Then you also might ask why, right? So if someone asks you to attend a meeting, but they don't tell you why they need you there or why that meeting's happening in the first place, you can say no. Now, I want to emphasize that when you say no, be honest and polite, right? Be honest and polite. Don't just, you might not even use the word no, but you're being honest and polite to explain why your priorities are somewhere else. The next thing is you could delegate, but when you delegate, make sure it's because that other person finds it energizing, right? Just because something is depleting to you doesn't mean it's depleting to someone else. Think of all of these things like small acts of courage. They're helping you be a little bit more brave, right? Because what you're doing right now is you're making a decision to protect your energy, okay? Now, the second place I want to focus is on unimportant and energizing. So these are the things that we still enjoy, but they're things that we want to keep in our back pocket. These are things that I call adult fun, right? So this is, I think as adults, what we know is there's joy sometimes in making bad decisions, right? Nod with me right now if you agree with that. Okay.
Not me, John. Not me, mate. I never make any bad decisions, buddy.
Yeah, we never make any bad decisions, right? Okay, so this is definitely where our friend Tequila lives, okay? Right, so we enjoy that, right? We enjoy socializing, but we know that we can't do that all the time because it can distract us, right? And sometimes the distractions are also people, or they might be things like binging on Netflix, right? And especially when we're in our own places, we're going to be finding it way easier to be distracted by all these other options that we have. The thing about back pocket is they can be really useful as rewards, and we're going to talk about that later on. So when you do something, you know, you achieve something, use one of these as a reward, and they're definitely great for vanquishing energy vampires. Where I really, really want us to focus today, though, and everything I'm teaching you today fits in this box, right? Things that are energizing and important. I'm only teaching you things that will energize you and are important, okay? So what we want to do here is we really want to ask why, but this time we're asking ourselves, why was that experience energizing and important, right? Was it because of the people that you were with, right? Was it because of the impact that you were making by doing that experience? Is it because you felt like you were really good at it, right? So you felt like you were contributing and giving value, or that you saw that people really wanted your contribution, right? Or it might be that you're using your strengths, right? The stuff that you're really good at, okay? So ask yourself really why. And then the other thing is to think about the context in which you felt that way. So if you were on fire, like in a brainstorm or a presentation or some other way, or you felt like completely in flow and time disappeared, what was the context in which that happened, right? Was it because you had a good night's sleep, heaven forbid, right? Or went for a workout in the morning and that lit up your brain, right? So you were really focused and present, right? So you want to ask why and recreate the context, because with those two things, you have a recipe to create more or ask for more. This box is the key to taking charge of your career. Now, the hard box, right, is this bottom one, right? So if something's important, but it's depleting, what do we do with it? Now, this box is what we call energy vampires. And straight away, I think you're probably thinking of one form of energy vampire, which is people, yeah, right? Energy vampires also come as tasks sometimes as well, right? Things that we know are important, but we don't really enjoy them, yeah? So the key thing to know here, right, you are taking responsibility for your energy right now. The only way that you can do that is if you plot something in this box, unless you change, right? Unless you reframe, it will always be depleting, right? I want to say that again. Unless you reframe, unless you change, it will always be depleting, right? So if you don't do anything, you are choosing to let something suck the life out of you, right? I can't emphasize that more. It's your responsibility, right? So the way that we manage tasks is we use bookends. So we put something energizing before, energizing afterwards, right? It could be a back pocket thing before, afterwards as a reward, for instance, right? We also think about, and I want to say on bookends too, do not put your whole day full of energy vampires back to back, okay? Because then you go home and you practice what we call mindfulness. Yeah.
I love mindfulness, mate. It's I love my Audi $7 bottle of Shiraz at the moment when you're talking about mindfulness. But anyway.
I think we can all relate to practicing mindfulness now and then, right? So just to get over, it might be a glass, could be a bottle, who knows, right? But don't stack your day full of energy vampires. The second is to think about changing your language in your head, right? Instead of saying, I have to do that, say, I get to, right? And when you think about I get to, it changes, right? So for instance, say you're doing timesheets or expenses, right? End of month reporting. You might say, I have to do my expenses, right? Instead, you might say, I get to do my expenses to help my mate Karen from finance, who's a really beautiful person, have the information she needs to pay me back so I can put that money back on my credit card, right? So think about that. I get you forces you to think about that it's probably not about you, right? You are helping someone often by doing these tasks that are depleting. Now, if an energy vampire is a person, let's really focus on this for a second. What I know from working with all of these thousands of people is that no one wants to be an energy vampire, right? If someone told you you're an energy vampire, you would be horrified, right, to think that people thought about you that way, right? So if no one wants to be an energy vampire, it's not about you, right? That person is not turning up that way. They might be not self-aware, and that's the reason that they're acting that way. Because if you label someone an energy vampire, what you are saying is that morning, that person woke up to suck the life out of you. And, what's the likelihood really of that being the case? Not very, okay? So really, but think about other people that are energy vampires as well.
Mate, I just want to stop you there. Obviously, and this is in full honesty, I know I've been mucking around so far on this as well, but I actually feel sometimes that I am a massive energy vampire to those around me. Like there's a fair bit of pressure being a business owner, and I carry that energy everywhere, and I know I'm not me. I know I'm not Luke Cook, who's the fun and energetic guy, and I can see the other people's reactions and how it brings them down. So yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, mate. So this is the thing that we need to do, right? So if we are the energy vampire, or we know the other person is the energy vampire, the first thing we need to do is take responsibility, right, for ourselves. So being aware of that to start with, like Luke shared, is the first thing, taking responsibility for turning up that way, right? Or if you think about with another person, you're in a relationship, right? So what is happening here is you have contributed in some way to that dynamic, even if that's you labeling that person an energy vampire. So take responsibility by reframing, by changing what you're doing, how you turn up. The second part is to practice empathy, right? So if you're practicing empathy for yourself, like Luke is, and going, oh, it's because I've got all this pressure on, all right, I'm aware of that now, how can I change things? If you're practicing empathy for another person, you're trying to understand what else is going on with them, right, and help them, right? So please, please, please use this. Right, next thing is your chronotype. Actually, so we've got you to do the homework around your sleep chronotype. Your chronotype also helps inform the times of day when you're best to do certain types of tasks, right? So if you are a morning person, right, you're going to bed between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m., you're best to do your analytical tasks very early in the morning, right? And your insight tasks later in the afternoon and early evening, right? So understanding this about yourself is a really great way to take control of your diary and to be more productive, right? So take a screenshot of this right now, because we don't have the time to go into every single moment, but just know that your chronotype is going to help inform you to be at your best. Got it?
Got it.
3, 2, 1. Okay. So bookends we've talked about, right? So bookending energy vampires. The biggest bookend that you have the most control over, guess what? We've already taught you. Sleep and morning routine, right? Those are the times of day that you have the most control. So focus on them first and then work your way in. Okay, are you an energy vampire? right? So Luke has shared how his own experience of feeling that way. Now, what I want to say to you right now, this is probably one of the most important things, if not the most important thing for you to remember today. In every moment, right? In every moment, we have a choice. Every moment we have a choice. You can either choose to be an energy vampire, right, to other people or to yourself. Energy vampire decisions are things like taking on those thoughts, things like not sleeping well, things like not nourishing yourself, things like not moving. They are all energy vampires. They deplete you, right? So you can choose to be an energy vampire, or you can choose the opposite. Choose to be an energist, right? And this is what we're doing today. Everything we're teaching you is how to be an energist, right? By expanding your energy first, and then using that skill, paying that skill forward to actually help other people increase their energy as well, right? I want everybody on this right now to make this decision. Choose to be an energist, right? You can do that, and we're going to teach you the skills to be able to do that consistently. Right, so it's time to hashtag GSD. If you know what GSD stands for, type that into the chat box right now. Right, so this is what you do to manage your day, right? We know our chronotype, we know the energy diary now. So before you're checking your emails, you're making sure that your environment makes you feel well, right? I've got plants, I've got natural light, right? Fresh air, right? Really focus on making an environment that makes you feel well. Then before you do your tasks for the day, put your tasks through the energy diary tool, right? So you're aware of the energy impact. Even if you can't change anything, at least you're aware to start with. The next is to shuffle those tasks then based on your chronotype, right? Is it, right, an analytical or an insight-driven task? Then plan your day to reduce any additional decisions. Okay, so you might think in the morning what you're already going to have for lunch or for dinner. Okay, then, right, once you've done the energy diary tool and shuffle based on your chronotype, apply the Pomodoro technique to those tasks. Right, so a Pomodoro technique is simple as setting yourself a timer for 25 minutes on a task, then taking a 5-minute break. Right, so you might find, depending on the task, it might take a couple of those sessions. Right, it might take a couple of Pomodoros. Please only do a maximum of 4 and then take a bigger break. And when you're doing this, let others know when you're focused so you're not interrupted. Right, that could be being on Do Not Disturb, it could be wearing a funny hat, whatever it might be, so people know not to disturb you whilst you're doing the deep work, right? Do people get what GSD is, Loki?
Yeah, mate, most people are saying get shit done or get stuff done, so.
Awesome. All right, so we're here to get shit done, right? So key takeouts: increase your productivity and light up your brain by managing your energy, not your time, creating a morning rhythm, and get the most out of your day by using the energy diary, then your chronotype, then Pomodoro, right? Sweet. All righty, so the third thing we wanted to cover, right, was how you be great at what you do. The first step is knowing what your superpowers are. And so that's our next piece of homework. All right, so I want you, again, take a screen grab of this. All right, so this survey is a positive psychology tool that will help you identify your character strengths. What we know is that when you're aware of and using your strengths, this has a massive impact on our well-being, right? It helps in terms of dealing with anxiety and depression. It helps us to be more creative, more adaptive, all of those things. Right, so this is definitely important homework for all of us. What we know is that within that set of strengths, there's 24 strengths. There are 5 that are highly correlated to creativity that we can all learn, right? Those 5 are being curious, being brave, seeking perspectives, being enthusiastic, because mood is so important for creativity. I can't emphasize this more. You will be way more creative when you're in a positive frame of mind. And then critical thinking is about taking all this data that you've collected, right, and forming your own opinion or point of view on something. Before we tell you how to do this, right, I've got another poll for you. So see the little red dot with the poll right now? What percentage more likely are you to succeed if you ask someone to hold you accountable to that commitment? Right? What percentage? Go now and answer that question.
Most people are saying between sort of 75% to 95%. It's pretty even across those two.
That's awesome, right? So all of us are already saying 75 to 90%, right? So this is one of the most powerful things we can do. The answer is 95%, right? So let's look at how we might hold each other accountable to building our creative strengths, right? The way that we do this is by having creative strengths conversations. Rocket science, right? Okay, so this is what I'd like you to do, and this is how you structure a creative strengths conversation, right? So you're going, knowing I can only control 3 things, right? The 3 things I talk you through. Today, right? Today, how might I be curious, be brave, seek perspectives, be enthusiastic, and use my critical judgment, right? You're going to have this conversation at the start and the end of your day every day, right? So you would say to your buddy, the things I'm going to be curious about today are, what I'm going to be brave about is this. I'm going to seek these people's perspectives. I'm going to put myself in a positive frame of mind by doing this. And I'm going to use my critical thinking and judgment. And that's the thing I'm probably going to share with you at the end of the day, right? This conversation does not have to be just about work, right? Think about all the stuff. We've got to be so brave right now, so curious, right, to learn how to deal with this new normal. So do this each and every day. All right, so what we've learned here is to stay creative while working from home, get to know your superpowers, that's the homework, and have creative conversations daily. Right, so right now, there are a whole bunch of people that we care about, that you care about, that could use this information. Right? We've delivered to this for you for free. Right? This is what Cookie and I do for jobs. Right? This is our business, but we've done this for you for free, and we're asking you one single little thing, is we need you to pay forward what you're learning. Right? There are people that you care about that could use some of this knowledge as well. So I want you right now to take a selfie of yourself, right, watching this webinar, and then I want you today to post the one thing that you learned that you feel your friends, your family, your colleagues, just a random stranger down the street, right, could benefit from knowing that. Right? Take that selfie right now. 3, 2, 1. All right.
Welcome.
You got it? All right, awesome. Okay, so before we go to the Q&A, Luke and I just want to say to you, we are here for you as long as you need us, right? We are just getting started. What's going on right now, we know is going to continue for at least 6 months. We're committed to being here for you for as long as you need us. You need to, though, help us to help you. Here's how you do that. The first is do your homework by 8 p.m. tonight. What we know is that when you do that homework, we'll be able to understand what you really need, right? Those pieces of homework are designed to, one, help you understand where you're at, but also to help you understand what you actually need. Because sometimes when we're overwhelmed, we don't even know what to ask for. The second thing is follow We Are in Energx and Funlocka, because we'll be putting more masterclasses up there, right? Based on that data, we're going to design those masterclasses to make sure that we can help and support you.
Sean, just to stop you there, we've actually just put an offers up where we actually do have a number of different sessions coming up, everything from nutrition around good mood food. We've got Layne Beachley talking about mindset, 8-time world surfing champion. So we've already got some sessions, but Sean and I are going to sit down and curate even more specific ones based off the data that you give us.
Wonderful. So pay forward everything you learn, please, 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 right? One thing you can do for us is a favor for what we're doing for you today. Okay, so we're going to give you one little hack before we go to our Q&A. So remember, we started the day thinking about the thing that we're grateful for. So what I want you to do is stand up wherever you are, right? Stand up if you're not already, right? And I just want you just to relax your shoulders and breathe in and just think about that person or something that you're grateful for right now, the thing that you shared with us right at the start of the day. Right, and notice where you feel that in your body, right? That little feeling of warmth, right? That little feeling that you've got right now inside you is a little shimmy, right? A little shimmy on the inside. What we know from a neuroscience point of view is it's impossible when you're practicing gratitude to feel anxious, depressed, sad, angry, and it's definitely impossible to feel that way when you're shimmying. Am I right? Right. We also know that gratitude is the highest strength correlated to overall well-being. So what I want you to do right now is to give me a little bit of RuPaul action and bring that shimmy to the outside, right? And make it a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, please. A little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, to the outside, into it. All right, so a little shimmy every day is going to help you get through this. All right, so let's recap on what we learned. Give yourself credit. You've taken heaps over this last little while. Today we covered how to reduce and overwhelm and increase your energy by starting with sleep and doing your homework around your energy assessment. Creating productivity rituals that light up your brain, right, with the energy diary, Pomodoro technique, again looking at your sleep and your chronotype as a way to do that. And then finally, how to work from home and stay creative by having those creative conversations. We're about to go to the Q&A. So any questions through Cookie?
We've got someone who just wants us to go back a few slides, mate, and Gus Taylor wants to see the energy matrix slide up again so they can just take a quick screenshot.
We'll do that.
Does anyone have any questions for Sean? It's a little bit quiet on here.
Here you go, Taylor.
Let me just, I don't think it's that one. I think it's actually the sleep one, mate. The, keep going through, you know, the sleep diary one, the
morning routine.
Which one is it? Go forward a few slides.
Yeah, but which is it? Oh, this one?
Yeah, when can be more, yeah, that one.
Shoot through those questions now.
Most people are just saying thank you, Sean, for the time today. Great stuff, great insights, really positive. Thanks, fellas. Any book recommendations, Sean?
Any book recommendations? Okay, so books that have really changed me. So one is a book called Mindset by Carol Dweck. So she's like the person who invented growth mindset, right, from a positive psychology point of view. If you've got kids, I definitely recommend this as well. There's specific chapters in there. The other thing is I love a book called Brain Rules by a guy called John Medina. It talks a lot about sort of the neuroscience of learning and things like that. And all these things are about getting to know ourselves a bit better. What I'm reading right now is I'm reading a book called Deep Work as well. So when we think about the Pomodoro technique, how do we make sure that we're actually doing that really well for ourselves? But I'm thinking on the spot right now, but I'll definitely have a think too, because there might be some other
ones. There's one that I've got as well, Atomic Habits by James Clear. That talks about building positive habit rituals, and very much what Sean was talking about this morning, about starting your day positively.
Yeah.
We've got a few more questions, mate, just before everyone goes. How long until you felt properly settled into working from home when you started your business? From Emily.
Look, what I want to say is that, and this is really important in terms of, being really kind to yourself in this process, right? We need to focus on little tasks all at once, right? Not all at once, little tasks one by one. Okay,
yes.
And that's why today we've focused really on the things that I know made the biggest difference as soon as I started to think that way, right? So, for instance, I literally designed my life on my chronotype. Right, so that's where I started, because I know I can't change my chronotype, I can't change my physiology, right? So I start there, for instance, and then I see everything as a little experiment, okay? So what I would say is, like any skill, the way that you actually get to actually feeling the benefits is going to depend on how much time you spend actually being focused and present and practicing that skill, right? If you do that, what we've shared with you today, if you do that every day, you're going to get and feel more confident around working from home much more quickly. If you just watch this and then go, okay, I'll look at it again later, or I'll do that thing later, it's going to take you much longer, all right? It really depends on you.
Great. And just one last one. Are we planning any more free sessions through COVID season? The answer is yes. We will be looking at other ways to be able to give back based around the data. It's also a good thing to maybe ask your company about as well, see if they can book in some sessions for you. If you see any sessions that you can already see there, and Sean and I are definitely going to be following up.
Yeah, and look, I'm going to be really honest with you as well, because the thing is that this whole thing for Cookie and I has completely, Cookie and I last week were wondering whether we would even have businesses. I had to ask the bank to put my mortgage on hold. You know, I freaked out. I'll share with you, I actually cried on Sunday when I heard what the government was doing to support small businesses, because of the relief that I felt after having 6 months of work cancelled in just 48 hours, right? So the thing is that we're doing these ones for free. Other ones we're going to ask you to contribute in some way, right? Because otherwise, how are we going to continue to survive as well?
And that's why I said also ask your business. Like, if you got benefit out of this,
yeah,
I'm sure your company that you work for would be interested in providing it for their whole staff. So that's how we can get some back as well. So thank you.
100%. That's perfect, right? Because imagine if your workplace is getting everybody the same amount of support, you're all going to feel much better, right? You are going to find it way easier to work with a colleague, right, who has had the same experience as you than you are someone that hasn't.
I think that's it, Sean. So I really do appreciate the comments and the feedback on this has been fantastic. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to say see you later now. So unless you've got anything else, Sean.
Thank you so much for making us shimmy today, people. All right. If you've got any comments, let us know. Please, please, please. All right. Do your homework. Do it by 8 p.m. tonight, and that will help us help you more. See you soon.
See you later, everyone. Bye.
Bye.